A bunch of the local homies have been getting into Spearhead and Age of Sigmar, and really enjoying it. Not wanting to miss out on rolling dice with buds, I'm jumping back in. So I'm blatantly ripping off Trent with episode 1 of this series. Now I've got loads of painted orcs, Seraphon, and Idoneth Deepkin, but I don't really want to play with those armies. What really speaks to my soul is Chaos, specifically Slaves to Darkness. However, I've painted a single Slaves to Darkness mini, and the trim is just a lot. The idea of painting a bunch of them makes me not want to paint at all. The actual minis I like the most, despite them being Space Marines, are Stormcast. Just a lot of big surfaces that would be fun to paint, so this got me thinking. Stormcast Eternals, but make it Chaos. The Chaoscast? Yeah, gonna have to workshop that name a bit. Stormcast Eternals are in every release box for Age of Sigmar. This means they're always available secondhand. I got these Vindictors new on sprue for way cheaper than new, box and everything. Now these dudes have a lot of Sigmarite heraldry on them, so after clipping from the sprue, the first order of business was to scrape and cut the shoulder pauldrons and shield free of Sigmar. Leave space for Chaos to reign, or at least make their allegiance uncertain. Slapping this fella together, I immediately knew I needed to change the head. It's been a long time since I put a kit together following instructions, and I wasn't about to start. After gluing the head into the body, I cut it off, leaving the neck intact. For a head, I went back to the kit that makes its way into every video. The Skeleton Cavalry kit from Wargames Atlantic. The skulls are basically the same size as a Vindictor's head, so it was as simple as gluing it in place. And this guy was ready for some paint. I wanted to go for a rusty, dusty look, something to differentiate from the standard pristine Stormcast armor. So after priming, I base coated the whole model with burnt sienna, opting to forego my typical zenithal approach, in favor of a more universally rusty look. Burnt sienna is my absolute favorite color to start rust from. It's got a nice oxide sort of look, and works really nicely with orange to punch up the rust a bit. As much as I love indie games, since coming back to the hobby, Age of Sigmar has had my heart. As much as I don't necessarily love the company, Games Workshop has done a great job of creating worlds in which I want to play. Of course, I tend to treat it as a sandbox rather than hard and fast rules when it comes to lore. In said lore, Stormcast are souls of fallen warriors or other virtuous humans that have been taken by Sigmar and forged into living weapons for the forces of order. When a Stormcast perishes in battle, they don't die. Their soul is sent back to Azir, the realm of the heavens, to be reforged again. This process happens again and again whenever a Stormcast falls in battle. There is, however, a flaw in the reforging process. This flaw causes Stormcast to lose some amount of their humanity each time they are reforged, as the flaw becomes bigger and bigger. And this is where I step in with my own lore. My chaotic Stormcast Eternals have been reforged innumerable times, their flaws continuing to grow until they were readily corrupted by chaos, effectively reforging the Stormcast into the Chaoscast, or some better name. Thus the rusty and dusty look, emblematic of their fall from grace. I still wanted the armor to have shiny metallic highlights, which I did with neutral and bright neutral gray, and my sketchy brushstrokes. Leaving random patches of untouched burnt sienna on some surfaces and in all of the recesses helps sell the beat down, uncared for look. To enhance some of the rusty appearance on the shoulder pauldrons and the shield, I heavily diluted orange, turning it into a wash consistency, then slopped it onto those areas. While I had initially considered going for a dark blue, almost black, I ended up leaving these areas mostly the washed color. Just adding a bit of highlight, mixing yellow into the burnt sienna. Seeing as Stormcast are often called Sigmarines, it amused me to make them look vaguely Space Wolf-like. At this stage, I had a nearly finished mini, just needing some basing and some sort of banner. With the basing, I decided to really lean into the dustiness, grabbing some old oxide pigment powder, mixing it with water to create a bit of a thick wash, then covering the whole of the base and some of the lower parts of the model. I find applying pigment powder in this way gives me a little bit more control and helps everything adhere to the model better. Meaning when I use the airbrush to add some varnish, it doesn't blow all the pigment powder away. For a banner, I went to the internet, searching for some cool Oldhammer Chaos art. I stumbled upon the Warhammer Army's Chaos book from 4th edition Fantasy Battles, and reappropriated an old Chaos Knights banner, chucking it into Photoshop to size it up, and firing up the 2D printer. After slicing this bad boy out, I used a Sharpie to color in the edges on the backside. I knew this might bleed through a bit, but I was hoping it might add some character. Then grabbed some Mod Podge and a brush, slapping it onto the mini. After a few rounds of Mod Podge, it was pretty secure, but I still wasn't particularly happy with it. In an effort to blend it into the model, I mixed some more of the pigment wash and slapped it onto the banner. I think the result is okay-ish, though I'm still not sold on it. I'll have more opportunities to make banners with this army though, and I can always change this one if that's the way I go. Add a tuft or two and this chaotic little dude is all done. Overall, I'm really happy with the theme and the paint scheme, even if I don't really like the banner. I am really looking forward to adding more finished units to this roster, on the way to 2,000 points. What do you think of the Chaoscast? Cool? Or did I just perform heresy? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, you are awesome. Thanks for watching.